The quiet, tree-lined street of Oakwood Creek was a postcard of American suburbia, manicured lawns, identical mailboxes, and a peaceful silence that felt earned. It was this promise of peace that drew Angela and Marcus Thompson to their new home. Angela, a woman whose smile could disarm armies, and Marcus, her steady, thoughtful husband, had poured their dreams into this house. They saw a future, a community. They didn't see the storm gathering behind their neighbors' pristine curtains. Their first gesture of goodwill was a meticulously prepared gift basket. "Is this too much?" Angela asked, adjusting the bow. "You could have just brought cookies." Marcus chuckled. "But too much is your signature. They'll love it." As they walked to the house next door, they felt eyes on them. Curtains twitched. Whispers seemed to follow them on the breeze. At the door, Angela's confident knock was answered by a woman named Sarah, whose expression was a locked door. "Hey, we're the Thompsons, your new neighbors." Angela chirped, offering the basket. Sarah's eyes flickered over them before she reluctantly took it. Her husband, Richard, was the opposite, warm, welcoming, and quick to invite them inside. But Sarah's coldness was a physical presence in the room. She watched them with an unnerving intensity, her arms crossed as if guarding her home from an invasion. Trying to break the ice, Angela followed Sarah into the immaculate kitchen. "Your home is stunning," Angela offered. "Thanks," Sarah clipped, not making eye contact. Angela's gaze fell upon a small, ornate golden box on the counter. "Wow, that's beautiful. Is it an heirloom?" Sarah froze. She snapped, snatching the box and hiding it in a cabinet. The air turned frigid. Angela, feeling like an intruder, quietly returned to the living room. Moments later, as they were about to leave, Sarah's voice cut through the polite goodbyes. "Wait," her tone was sharp, accusatory. "I'm missing something." Angela and Marcus turned. Sarah's eyes were narrowed, cold slits of suspicion. "One of my gold spoons. It was in the box you were admiring." She pointed a trembling finger at Angela. "It's gone." "That's ridiculous," Marcus said, his voice firm. "There must be a mistake." "There's no mistake," Sarah shot back, her voice rising with theatrical panic. "You were the only one near it." "I want to check your bag." Humiliation and anger washed over Angela. But she held her ground, her voice steady. "Go ahead. I have nothing to hide." Richard looked mortified. "Sarah, please." But Sarah was already rummaging through Angela's purse. A triumphant gasp. She pulled out a small, gleaming gold spoon. "See, I told you!" The world tilted under Angela's feet. She stared at the spoon, her mind racing to understand how it got there. "I'm calling the police," Sarah declared, dialing her phone with smug satisfaction. Within minutes, the serene street was shattered by flashing red and blue lights. Neighbors spilled onto their lawns, their faces a mixture of curiosity and judgment. Two officers approached, their expressions grim. "She stole from me," Sarah announced to them, pointing at Angela. "The evidence is right there." The lead officer looked from the spoon to Angela. "Mom, based on the evidence, I'm going to have to ask you to come with us." He reached for his handcuffs. "This is a mistake," Angela said, her voice trembling but clear. "The evidence is clear, ma'am." The officer replied dismissively. "Please turn around." Marcus stepped forward, his body a shield. "You can't arrest her. You haven't even investigated." The officer's hand hovered near Angela's wrist. This was it. The moment she would be judged not by her character, but by the color of her skin and the lies of a hateful neighbor. "No," Angela said. Her voice wasn't loud, but it cut through the tension like a razor. She reached into her pocket. "You're right, there's been a mistake here, but it's not mine." She pulled out her hand and held up a shining gold badge. "I am Angela Thompson, and I am the new chief of police for this district." Silence, absolute, deafening silence. The officer's face went white, his hand retracting as if burned. Sarah's jaw dropped, her smug expression melting into pure, unadulterated horror. The whispering neighbors fell quiet, their mouths agape. "Chief Thompson." The officer stammered. "That's correct." Angela said, her voice now ringing with authority. "And I'd like to know why my officers jumped to arrests without a proper investigation. Is that standard procedure?" The officers were speechless. Angela turned her blazing gaze to Sarah. "If you're so certain I'm a thief, then your home security cameras will prove it. Let's review the footage." Now, inside, a panicked Sarah fumbled with the security system. It doesn't always work," she lied, her fingers inching toward the delete button. "Step away from the monitor," Angela commanded. The officers played the footage. The video was damning. It clearly showed Sarah, after Angela had left the kitchen, nervously glancing around before taking a spoon from the box and slipping it into Angela's purse. "Care to explain this?" the lead officer asked, his voice dripping with ice. "I just thought, people like you shouldn't be in our neighborhood," Sarah confessed, her voice a pathetic whimper. One of the officers snapped a pair of handcuffs on her wrists. "Sarah Frederick, you are under arrest for filing a false police report and obstruction of justice." As Sarah was led away in shame past the stunned faces of her neighbors, Angela stood tall on her porch. She wasn't just a new resident anymore. She was a leader. She looked at the silent crowd, not with anger, but with a challenge. "This is our home now," she said, her voice carrying across the lawns. "This community can be better. The work starts today." The quiet returned to Oakwood Creek, but it was different now. It was the sound of a neighborhood forced to look in the mirror, knowing that change had finally arrived, and it had come in the form of the woman they had so wrongly judged